Now, friends, we will discuss the next aspect of our left out discussions, that is Unit 5 in that general insurance, that is fire insurance. We have already seen in the previous class under general insurance, that is, we have seen the health insurance policy. The three lectures that we have discussed is relating to general insurance and the health insurance. Now we will discuss on fire insurance. What exactly the fire insurance is and what are the different types of fire insurance policies and related aspects. The discussion points are here. I have listed the discussion points as per your syllabus. The first one is fire insurance, its concept. Second one is essentials of fire insurance contract. Third one is types of fire insurance policies and fire insurance coverage. This knowledge will help you to manage the fire risk. If you are a businessman or if you are a key employee in an organization, how to manage the fire insurance related aspects. Normally fire insurance is outsourced to an insurance company. So nowadays there are many good fire insurance coming out anticipating the fire insurance problems. So now, what is a fire insurance? Fire insurance is a contract under which the insurer, in return for a consideration or premium, agrees to indemnify the insured for the financial loss which the latter may suffer due to destruction or a damage of property or goods caused by fire during a specified period. Whom the homeowners and property owners may consider fire insurance in addition to a property insurance policy if the property contains valuable items. A best practice would be to document the property and its related contents, which makes identifying the value of items damaged or lost much easier after a fire has taken place. According to this definition or the quotations, we can understand that fire insurance is similar to any other insurance where the cause for the indemnity or cause of the risk should be a fire. If the property or any asset which is insured, if gets damaged by the fire, will be compensated by the insurance company. So this fire insurance contract is taken along with any property insurance. Like example, if you have taken earthquake policy, along with the earthquake policy, normally the fire insurance policy is also taken, because in addition to the earthquake, if a fire also happens to the property, the fire insurance can be claimed for. And normally this fire insurance is quite common for an industry or the factories, because the quite possibility of fire is there in the factories due to mishandling of the machine or due to any other reasons. So therefore, fire insurance will help the business people to cover the risk causing to their property, or any of the property may be movable or even the property may be fixed. Movable properties like goods, vehicles, and all these things can be insured in the fire insurance contract. Now, what are the essentials of the fire insurance contract? As we have already seen the essentials of the insurance contract in life insurance business contract, we have seen it in the health insurance. Similar to that, in fire insurance contract also there are certain essentials to be present, and these essentials are very important. If any of these essential requirements are not satisfied, I think fire insurance cannot be claimed also. First one is offer and acceptance. As usual, any contract starts with the offer and acceptance. Here, the offer and acceptance is most important. When the advertisement is made or the disclosure of the policies are made by the insurance company to the clients, the customers will offer with an application form to the insurance company for insurance contract, fire insurance contract, and it is accepted by the company. Once it is accepted, the contract will be formed between uh, the insurance company and the client. And when the contract is established, the contract becomes valid only when there is a prepayment of premium, because consideration is the most essential part of the contract. Now insurance premium will be paid by the insurance by the client to the insurance company. So now this premium can be paid regularly for a month twice or quarterly like that, or one time premium can also be paid. But the term of this contract is normally 1 year. It is not more than 1 year. So any kind of a premium that covers the risk happening only within a 1 year, because it is a contract of indemnity. The third important characteristics is contract of indemnity. Contract of indemnity says that the compensation will be made only to the extent of the loss happened to the property which is insured. That indemnity is to recover the loss, not for making any profit. That we have already seen in the health in general insurance contracts. The fourth one is utmost good faith. Here, the disclosure of the asset related aspects should be made by the insurer, the client to the insurance company. In this utmost good faith things, the property description, including the construction quality, time of construction of the fixed assets, or vehicle purchased, its depreciation and its market value, everything should be properly disclosed in the contract. The fourth one is insurable interest. The insurable interest should be present at the time of entering into contract and at the time of claiming. When you talk about insurable interest, normally the owners of the property have an insurable interest in the loss happening to the property. Apart from this, in the fire insurance business, even beneficiaries are also considered to be insurable interest parties. Like, for example, if the property is on the a rental basis and the tenant using the property gets any kind of a fire damages, then the insurer, the owner, the tenant can also claim the damages happened to him through the owner, because tenant is also having an insurable interest. It is not necessary that the owners only should use the property, even tenants can also be used. If the building or the asset is taken constructed out of the bank loans, and loss happened due to fire to the property, then the banker can also claim the damages, which is through the owners, because owners, after taking the insurance policy, that is a fire insurance policy, pledges that fire insurance policy with the banker. So banker is also having an exclusive right to ask for the damages, because his loan is because he has an interest in the property, because he has given the loan. Then the next one is contribution, principle of contribution. As we have already discussed in general insurance, that contribution in the sense, if at all any property is insured with the two different insurance companies, fire insurance companies, then any loss happens, both the fire insurance companies will compensate to the loss happened in proportion to the premium paid, or equally, as the case may be. So that is why at any condition, if the two fire insurances are taken, the insurer will not be compensated twice the value of the loss. That is what the principle of contribution talks about. Period of fire insurance. The period of fire insurance is normally for 1 year. Period of fire insurance is normally for 1 year, because if at all any loss happens after 1 year, when the policy gets expired, will not be covered. So therefore, in this case, the insured, or the customer will take the policy, renew the policy every year, because the renewal is most essential. In case of health insurance, renewal is not at all a problem, even if it is also having a time bound of 1 year. When the health insurance policy is to be continued for next year, in certain agreements, the term is long term is mentioned, say for example 10 or 15 years, where he does not require to the insurance policy holder is not required to disclose his health aspects every time. Once in the beginning, when the utmost good faith information is received, the policy term will be continued. After expiry of 1 year, when the premium is paid in life in health insurance, it will be renewed. But in this case of fire insurance, it will not be continued. After 1 year, and a fresh insurance contract has to be undertaken in the fire insurance, because asset value is going to get diminished year after year. Either it will be increasing or decreasing, as the case may be. Therefore, he has to provide, that insurance policyholder has to provide the description of the asset and enter into a fresh contract after the expiry of 1 year time. Then act is concerned. Another essential is the act of loss. The loss should have happened because of the act of fire. That is what the fire insurance talks about. If at all the loss happens due to any other reason like earthquake or flood and all that, fire insurance company will not compensate. But if at all the act is due to the fire, then definitely it will be. Even if it is earthquake, but the damage happens to the electricity connections and all that, and fire comes out of that and loss happens, then that fire loss will be compensated by the insurance company. Then the claim is concerned, the claim has to be made immediately after the loss has happened by the insurance policy holder. He cannot postpone the claim for several years. Like in case of health insurance, when the person gets admitted in the hospital and after discharge also, after 2 3 months he can claim for that expenses that he has incurred in the health cases, it is possible. But in case of fire insurance, the claim has to be made simultaneously. The way when the because actuaries will visit the what you call as loss estimating expert team will visit the place and estimate the loss. Therefore, whenever the loss happened immediately, it should be communicated to the insurance company, and the experts team should visit it. And after evaluating that, only they will decide the amount of the compensation, or they will understand the cause of the fire and declare the compensation as the case may be. It cannot be postponed. That is what the important essential of the fire insurance. Now we will see as a part of your syllabus the types of fire insurance policies. The fire insurance policies are extensive in today's world, because many companies are offering a different types of fire insurance policies, attractive policies to their customers. But there are specific categories which can be classified into seven important categories, like like valued policy, specific policy, average policy, floating policy, comprehensive policy, consequential loss policy, or replacement policy. What is a valued policy? In this policy, the value of the subject matter is agreed upon at the time of taking up the policy. The insurer agrees to pay a predetermined amount if the subject matter is destroyed or damaged by fire. The principle of indemnity is not applicable to this policy. The agreed value may be more or less than the market value at the time of the loss. These policies are generally issued for those goods or property whose value cannot be determined after their loss or damage. These goods may include work of art, jewelry, painting, etc. So in this policy, the amount of the value is not mentioned. It is exclusively covering the loss happened at the market price. Therefore, this is exception to the point of that is indemnity where the actual property value is not mentioned, but the premium of this kind of policy is very huge. That is what valued policy, the term itself says, it is covering the total market value of the asset lost due to fire. Normally jewelry or the artist paintings and all that are covered. The special kind of a antique pieces loss due to fire. Next, we have specific policy. Under this policy, the risk is insured for a specific sum. In case of the loss of a property, the insurer will pay the loss if it is less than the specified amount. It can be explained with an example. An insurance policy is taken for rupees 50,000 and the value of the property is rupees 80,000. Actually, the market value is 80,000, but the value of the property is taken for 50,000. If the uh, payment worth rupees 40,000 is lost, if the property worth rupees 40,000 is lost, the insurer will get the whole amount of the loss. The insurer will get the whole amount of the loss, that is 50,000. If the loss is up to rupees 50,000, it will be paid in full. In case loss exceeds 50,000, say it is 60,000, the indemnity will only be up to the amount that is 50,000 under this property. Under this property, the insured is not uh, punished for getting a policy for a lesser sum. The actual value of the property is not taken into consideration. So here what happens, the policy holder himself is allowed to declare the value of the property on himself, and accordingly he can decide the price. Then we have average policy. Average policy is if the average clause is applicable to a policy, it is called average policy. A average clause is added to penalize the insured for taking up a policy for a lesser than the value of the property. The compensation payable is proportionately reduced if the value of the property is less than the value of the property, the market value of the property. Suppose a person takes up a fire insurance policy of rupees 20,000 and the value of the property is rupees 30,000. If there is a loss of the property worth rupees 50,000, the underwriter pays the compensation of rupees 10,000 only. That is 20,000 divided by 30,000 into 15,000, and not rupees 15,000. It is discourages the insured to get undervalue policy. This is what we call as average policy. Then we have floating policy. Floating policy is the policy taken by the insurance policy holder when his properties are stored in different places. Like for example, if he is having a godown in 2 3 different places, and and the goods are stored in the godown in 2 3 places, one single common policy can cover the loss happening in all the godowns, in 3 to 4 godowns. That is what we call as floating policy. The floating policy will have a value of 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, something like that. Any loss happened in uh, uh, any of the godown or in all the godowns at a time, the maximum compensation will be paid to the extent of 15 lakhs to the that is the sum assured value to the policy holders. This is what we call as a floating policy, one single policy covering the various assets in different places. Then we have a comprehensive policy is the policy which covers the fire risk, where the fire happens due to any reason, maybe because of the short circuit or because of any other. The comprehensive risk of the fire is included under this policy. The comprehensive risk talks about any kind of a fire incident happening due to any of the reasons which are listed at the time of the entering into contract. The comprehensive policy will not make the list of that reasons at the time of entering into a contract. Causa proxima loss is not included here. Causa proxima should be only the loss due to fire, but how the fire emerges in the building is not mentioned here. Only the point is in comprehensive policy that the loss should not be uh, made intentionally. The fire loss should not be made. Any unintentional fire happens in the premises due to any other reason is covered under the policy. This is what the comprehensive policy talks about. The another important point is then we have consequential loss policy. Here the consequences of the losses are also included. Consequences of the loss is the loss happened due to problem in the business due to fire. Then we have a replacement policy. In this policy, the insurance company will replace the asset which is lost due to fire. Any amount of expenditure incurred for replacing the asset will be covered by the insurance company. That is called as the replacement policy. Replacement policy. Okay, these are the various types of insurance policies. Now we have see the last aspect of the discussion, that is fire insurance coverage. The fire insurance coverage, the coverage is very extensive scope of the fire insurance. It is depending on the agreement between the insurance company and the insurance policy holder. The basic coverage is normally, the first one is the fire loss. If at all the loss happened due to fire, any kind of the losses can be covered. It may be in a comprehensive or it may be an extensive kind of a things. So they are covered. Like for example, if the loss happened to the goods, only goods are very important. In the policy can be taken only on the goods. If the factory premises is also added with the goods, then it will cover the factory price cost also. And if at all any worker working in the industry gets burnt, then compensation will be paid to his family also. These are called as fire loss extensive in nature. Then we have a fire due to lightning. Fire happened due to lightning because of the lightning. If at all any fire happens to the factory, especially the cotton industries and all that, where the lightning can also sometimes lead to fire. So in such cases, it is also covered in the fire insurance. Fire due to explosion. Any kind of explosion happens around the factory or inside the factory. Maybe a fire exposure, there may be a kind of a bursting of any of the gas or any of the machine which explodes due to heavy electricity supply and all that, and fire takes up, that loss will be taken into consideration and it is covered under the insurance policy. But factory boiler explosion due to overheating is not covered. A big factory boilers are not covered. But in a fire in individual homes, houses, if the fire happens due to the explosion of the heating boiler, water heating boiler for use of the family, hot water use of the family, that is covered, but not the factory boilers which are overheated and blasted. Then the fourth one is aircraft damage. Any aircraft crashing in the air, then the fire takes up, and due to that, any goods stored in that particular aircraft gets damaged are also covered. And fire happening due to risk like strike or riots or terror damage, etc., are also covered under the insurance policy. Then we have fire due to storm flood. Due to flood, if the water enters in the factory premises and leads to short circuit, and because of that fire gets in and some part of the assets are burnt out due to fire in the factory premises, are also covered. And we have impact damages due to car. If at all the any roadside moving vehicle like a truck or car uh, damages the factory because of accident, and that leads to a fire and the factory gets burnt, due to such kind of things are also covered under this is called the impact damage. The impact is maybe because of accidents or any other reasons, but leads to a fire damage. At the result of that is a fire damage, so that is also covered. But there is a one condition here, damage but the impacting material should not belong to owner or property, or the owner of the property or the tenants using the property. If the car which is hit in the factory premises and led to fire, and that led to an explosion, if the car belongs to the owner, then claim cannot be made. Claim cannot, because it is mentioned in the policy contract itself. Say simple example, if the petrol bunk, if the car is parked by the owner inside the petrol bunk, and due to certain reasons, if the car loses the brake, fails the brake and moves towards the petrol pump, and causes a damage, in such cases the loss should be borne by the owner only. No insurance compensation shall be made for that. And we have missile testing operations. Due to missile testing operations, if the fire takes into the premises, then it is also covered under the policy, but it should be declared that a missile testing is happening and all that by the missile agencies. And if it is due to missile testing which is not informed to the factory premises, and because of that, if a fire happens in the factory, can also be covered under the policy. Then we have bush fire. Around the factory, if there is a bush, and due to the sun, heavy heat and all that, if the fire emerges there, and if it enters the factory premises, and loss happens due to fire, is also covered. But only thing is that there should not be an intentional kind of a bushfire. Sometimes in order to claim the benefit, the owners of that factories may create the fire on their own and do the things. So there should be a possibility of such kind of a loss, such kind of fire naturally should be proved when such kind of loss happens. So the experts or the investigating officers of the fire insurance company and come and visit that particular place and identify whether it is intentional or unintentional. If it is unintentional, compensation shall be paid. If it is intentional, then till it is proved, the insurance policy cannot be claimed by the insurance policy holder. Other coverages like fire due to earthquake or any other natural calamities are covered under the fire insurance. So this is relating to fire insurance. So we have seen so far the fire insurance meaning, essentials of fire insurance, types of fire insurance policy, and insurance coverages. In the examination, most of the time the question will be asked, discuss the various types of fire insurance, and it may be even question may be asked, discuss the various types of fire insurance and all that. So kindly prepare. So I thank all the students for listening to this lecture, part 4. So now in the next lecture, we will start with marine insurance policies. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.